You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
With his signature, President Joe Biden seals a defining moment of his presidency, passing his nearly $2 trillion COVID relief plan. And for some, that stimulus money could be in your bank account in the next couple of days. Under that historic bill, money will be dispersed coast to coast to the states and cities struggling through the pandemic. The amount heading to Tennessee and how it will likely be divided. Tennessee's pledge seemingly taking a backseat in Governor Lee's tweet, and it's making headlines this morning. The maskless message sending controversy. Hey, good morning, and thanks so much for joining us on Fox 17 News This Morning. I'm Temple Rickey, filling in for Sarah Small. Right now, we are taking a live look outside this Friday morning. So glad it's Friday. You can see Nissan Stadium out there shining bright. And you know, we are going to head to Fox 17's Code Red morning meteorologist because, Dan, we had great weather this week, but you know, all good things must come to an end. All right, thanks so much, Dan. Now for a check of your steer clear traffic. Right now, we're going to head to I-24 westbound. This is in Montgomery County. It looks like we're looking pretty good on the interstates. We're seeing a lot of green. No major accidents popping up at this moment, but we do have one crash to report on I-24 westbound in Montgomery County. We are going to continue to keep our eye on this for you, but as of right now, no major congestion. Right now, the Murray County Sheriff's Office is looking for a missing 16-year-old girl. Ariana Holcomb was last seen leaving her home in Mount Pleasant overnight on March 8th. Investigators believe she's with two adults, Devin Kilburn and Anthony Armstrong. They may be in Marshall County area or on their way to Michigan. Police looking for a 2000 gold Chevrolet Silverado with a Tennessee license plate, 7L33X9. And again, here's one last look at her picture. If you know where Ariana is or the two men she may be with are, call MCSO right away. In the path moving forward, qualifying Americans can expect to see another round of stimulus checks hitting their bank accounts as early as this weekend.
Some people in the country will start seeing those direct deposits in their bank accounts this weekend, and payments to eligible Americans will continue throughout the course of the next several weeks.
This historic legislation is about rebuilding the backbone of this country and giving people in this nation, working people, middle-class folks, people who built the country, a fighting chance.
President Biden signed the $1.9 trillion COVID relief bill yesterday, one day earlier than planned. Payments include up to $1,400 per person, which will be sent to about 90% of U.S. households. The first to get their money will be those who have their direct deposit information already in with the IRS. The bill does include $350 billion in direct deposits for state and cities. Tennessee can expect to get around $6.1 billion from that pot. If we go ahead and break that down, a closer look shows the state's government is slated to get an estimated $3.85 billion and $1.3 billion will be dispersed to Tennessee counties. Metropolitan cities are projected to get $513 million, while towns and cities will get an estimated $431 million. President Biden's bill comes exactly 1 year after the pandemic was officially declared on U.S. soil. He marked the grim anniversary with his first primetime speech. The president reflected on more than 500,000 U.S. lives lost, praised Americans' resilience, and prepared the nation for more challenges.
Only way to get our lives back, to get our economy back on track, is to beat the virus. If we do our part, if we do this together, by July the 4th, there's a good chance you, your families and friends will be able to get together.
The president also noting an effort to get all adult Americans eligible for the COVID-19 vaccine no later than May 1st. Last night's speech kicks off a campaign by the administration to tout their first major piece of legislation. President Biden, Vice President Kamala Harris, and cabinet members will travel cross-country to highlight federal aid programs funded by the bill and bat back against criticism. The tour's first stop will be next Tuesday in Pennsylvania. Governor Lee making headlines after posting a new video of himself in downtown Nashville, but not just for his tourism message, also because he's not wearing a face mask.
Whether you're a spring breaker just about to be here or someone looking for a place to come this summer, Tennessee is open for business.
Governor Lee used that video to invite tourists to spend their spring break in Nashville. He doesn't mention COVID-19 restrictions and is also seen in pictures buying boots, getting a meal, and shaking a musician's hand, all while not following Nashville's mask mandate. Fox 17 News did reach out to Nashville Mayor John Cooper and the Metro Health Department for a comment. We haven't heard back, but we'll keep you posted. In a few hours, COVID-19 vaccine shots will continue at several locations across the mid-state, but not as many people are signing up for the shots as health leaders would like to see. Fox 17 News' Justin McFarland is live to tell us who is and who is not getting vaccinated. Thank you, Justin. In more local news this morning, Nashville Mayor John Cooper announced $5 million more for the city's Affordable Housing Fund. That money will support the development of hundreds of units to help working families. City leaders say so far, Barnes Fund affordable housing grants have supported 2,200 units. The next listening session for the future of 2nd Avenue is happening this morning. Mayor John Cooper's appointed project manager, Ron Gobble, will host the virtual update from 10 a.m. till 10:45. He'll go over this week's progress and the next steps to cleaning up the mess from that downtown Christmas Day bombing. You can find the Zoom link on nashville.gov. We'll also have an update tonight on air and online at fox17.com. An alert for drivers this morning as you head out the door. Today is the last day there will be closures along the Bell Road at J. Percy Priest Dam. The road will be shut down from 6:30 this morning until 4 in the afternoon. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers are replacing fencing along the dam. The road will be back open tomorrow. And with the American Rescue Plan now passed, Congress is getting to work on other issues. How one item they're set to tackle could impact your access to the polls. And the SEC men's basketball tournament is heating up in Nashville. Highlights from the court and who just earned themselves a shot in the semifinals. Well, in sports news this morning, we go live to Nashville's Lower Broadway. You see Bridgestone Arena shining bright this morning as the SEC tournament takes over for the next 3 days. Round 2 kicked off last night. Let's go ahead and break that down for you. Well, it was a quick turnaround for Vanderbilt basketball. Less than 24 hours after getting their first SEC tournament win in 4 years, the Commodores were back on the court for more action. Vanderbilt showed fight against Florida, trailing by only 8 in the second half. But the man who does it all for the Gators, Trey Mann, right there, sinks a 3 to make it 46-35. Commodores trailing until Scottie Pippen Jr. makes his way inside the lane, up with the floater, securing it, and hey, he gets an and 1 too. A nice little 3-point play. Later on, Pippen sends it to Trey Thomas for a 3. Just wait right here. There's that pass. It is up and it is good. The Commodores take the lead 55-54. But man, oh man, we know Trey Mann didn't like to see that, and he was just too much for the Commodores. You see him floating past, 2-hand slam by Anthony DeRuggi. There we go. Vandy down 3 with a minute left to play. Shot is up. Last chance effort by Pippen. Just no good. We get the ball to Thomas, but shot is off the mark. Florida wins 69-66, ending Vanderbilt's season.
We're disappointed. Our goal was to come in here and really do something special. And I thought our guys fought, all the way. Had some opportunities, had some shots to give ourselves a chance. I thought we competed extremely hard. Got defensive stops, all the things that you need to do to win the game like this. Just got to shoot a little better percentage.
It just shows us we right there with any SEC team that we can compete at the highest level. We normally make those shots, so if we make those shots, it's a very winnable game for us.
Tough to hear coming from Evans. The Commodores are out and the Gators advance to face Tennessee in the quarterfinals this afternoon, happening at 1:30. It's the third time the two teams will meet this season. They played 5 days ago when the Vols beat Florida 65-54. In the first game of the day, Kentucky faced Mississippi State, and man, this was a tough one to watch for Cats fans. With 10 seconds left to play, the Bulldogs up 74-73. Dante Allen takes the 3 and misses it, putting an end to the Wildcats season. You see their heads hanging low right there. It's the first time they'll miss the NCAA tournament since 2013. And over in Frisco, Texas, MTSU women's basketball kicked off the Conference USA tournament, taking on La Tech yesterday. Murfreesboro native Anastasia Hayes with the layup to make it a 62-53 game in the fourth quarter. She totaled 34 points as the Blue Raiders made some clutch free throws down the stretch and were able to hold on to advance to the semifinals with a 77-71 win. MTSU will now face UTEP tonight at 8:30. On the ice, let's talk about the Predators. Well, they ended their North Carolina stop with back-to-back losses. Not what we like to see. Last night's was actually more brutal than the first. Nashville started out in a poor fashion, conceding to a penalty and giving up 3 rapid goals to the Carolina Hurricanes. The Preds largely outplayed the games after giving up those early goals, generating a number of chances in close, but Nashville struggled to attack the home plate area and finish on any of those opportunities. Nick Cousins finally got the Preds on the board with his 3rd goal of the year, but without managing any more points, the Predators marked another brutal loss. Final score 5-1. Up next for the team, they're heading on to Tampa Bay to take on the Lightning this weekend. The first game is tomorrow night at 6, followed by a rematch on Monday. Of course, you can watch it all on Fox Tennessee Sports. And you know, we have some good weather for basketball. Not that it matters. They're playing inside.
Well, it's always good weather for basketball.
Yeah, probably not the best thing to lead with there, Dan. But if you step outside from that SEC tournament, what can you expect to see?
Well, honestly, it really depends on what time of day you do it, because it might not be bad, and other times it might be, well, umbrella weather. Like my tie. Got umbrellas on the tie. That's how you know rain is on the way.
All right, thanks so much, Dan. Well, on your screen right now, you see cleanup is underway at the Cracker Barrel in Mount Juliet after a truck drove through a dining room. Check out that damage. Police say an elderly man unintentionally hit the gas and drove into the restaurant. Thankfully, no one was seriously hurt. 7 people were treated on the scene. Well, the Metro School Board is standing by its decision to award an $18 million no-bid contract to Meharry Medical College for COVID-19 services. Some taxpayers weren't happy, saying the school could have tried getting a cheaper price tag with other offers. Board members say federal CARES Act funding will cover the $18 million due to Meharry. It'll also pay COVID-19 staff at testing sites and schools, provide safety protocols, monitoring, and start vaccine planning. Plus, that competitive bidding process could have taken up to 4 months, and many say we just don't have that time during a pandemic.
I understand that taxpayers want to make sure that we are, specifically using the dollars in efficient ways, and I appreciate that. But yes, if we would have waited another 3 months, we would not have really had a use for them, which means these would have been wasted dollars. These would have been lost.
Board Chair Christy Ann Buggs says she works with Meharry and it will continue for the rest of the school year. An update on some controversial legislation. Tennessee lawmakers passed a bill allowing teachers to permanently remove disruptive students from the classroom. The decision came yesterday despite concerns that it could unfairly punish vulnerable children. Supporters say it's a tool teachers need when facing unruly or some violent students. The bill is now heading to the House for a vote on an amendment before heading to the governor's desk. And right now we're sending you a Fox 17 News push alert so you can continue following the developing story. Make sure you have the Fox 17 News app downloaded and allow for notifications. Well, now that the stimulus bill is behind them, what's next for Congress? The big issues lawmakers are set to tackle. Coming up on 424 this morning, a beautiful look outside at Nashville. You can see Hard Rock Cafe here on our Skycam overlooking Broadway. It is Friday. Y'all should be getting excited. We're going to make it a great day today. Well, from gun control laws to police reform and immigration, congressional Democrats who control both houses have an ambitious to-do list in front of them. As Sinclair's Atra El-Nashar shows us, the Senate is now considering taking up a sweeping elections bill that just passed in the House.
The motion is adopted.
With another monumental COVID-19 relief package signed into law Thursday, Democrats holding majorities in Congress now working to make good on other campaign promises, like making fundamental changes to American campaigns and elections with the For the People Act, or H.R. 1.
That it restores confidence that people have that their vote and their voice is as important as anyone's.
Passed in the House, now bound for the Senate. H.R. 1 includes measures like requiring states to have at least 15 days of early voting, limits purging voter rolls, requires candidates for executive office to disclose tax returns, and overrides recent changes to state laws.
Legislators are proposing restrictions on voting, the most significant since the Jim Crow era. The For the People Act, H.R. 1, would stop that.
Much of H.R. 1 was written by the late Democratic congressman and civil rights icon John Lewis. The bill passed in the previous Congress but didn't get anywhere in the then Republican-led Senate.
President Biden supports H.R. 1 but isn't waiting on Congress to take action. Last week, he signed an executive order that's aimed at promoting voter registration and participation.
Republicans say it's an affront to the Constitution.
I cannot imagine a single Republican going for this effort, which is really just a complete power grab by the Democrats.
Republicans oppose the bill's nationalization of election laws, like requiring states have independent redistricting commissions, expand automatic and same-day voter registration, and vote by mail.
One-size solution from Washington, D.C. does not solve all problems.
Pointing to the possibility of ballot harvesting, as H.R. 1 allows voters to designate another person to return their absentee ballot. Senate Republicans now relying on the filibuster, which requires bills get 60 votes to pass to remain in place, preventing the passage of H.R. 1 and other bills that Democrats hope to push through with their new Senate majority. On Capitol Hill, I'm Atrell Nashar reporting.
The first day of spring is a little more than a week away. That's exciting news. But President Biden is already eyeing some summer fun. How likely we are to see some 4th of July festivities in the path moving forward through this pandemic.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
All right, coming up on 4:30 this morning, Metro health leaders are discussing solutions when it comes to vaccine hesitancy. The particular groups that aren't signing up as much, even though they qualify. Leaving a gun unsecure in an unlocked car could have dire consequences. If stolen, the new numbers released by Metro Police and the warning for those who don't care about leaving their guns in their cars. And taking a live look in downtown Nashville, where the sun will start to shine a little bit sooner after daylight saving this weekend, but there's a new effort to stop switching our clocks, where it stands on the national level. Good morning, and thanks so much for joining us on Fox 17 News This Morning. I'm Temple Rickey, filling in for Sarah Small. Happy Friday. Let's go ahead and take a live look outside this morning. We could expect a good day, but also some rain in the mix. That's why we have Fox 17's Code Red meteorologist Dan Guthrie standing by. Dan the man, what can you tell us? Hey Dan, thanks so much. Let's keep that rain away because we know we have some trouble driving in it. But hey, right now, a live look from I-40 and I-24 lets you know clear as a bell. This junction is moving along right at the speed limit. We're seeing some calm roads this morning as you head out the door, so a great time to start your Friday. Well, the latest on the coronavirus in the United States, we are going to give you some updates about what's going on. I think we have Justin McFarland live in the field for us, talking about the latest efforts in Nashville. Justin, what can you tell us? Thanks so much for that report, Justin. Well, Nashville police are reminding gun owners to keep your firearms locked up, especially if they're inside your car. MNPD reports 10 stolen guns from cars just last week. And get this, 6 of those were not locked. 160 firearms have been stolen so far this year, and that's on track to hit last year's number of 775. Firearm safety instructors say theft from unlocked cars are frustrating, but unfortunately, they're not surprising.
You should never store a firearm in your vehicle.
Especially if it's unlocked.
Especially, oh my gosh.
Absolutely.
Hurts me a little bit just to hear that.
No, kind of expected. Since we passed a law stating that most people can carry a firearm in their vehicle without a permit, the instant rate of people doing that has increased. And subsequently, the amount of potential theft from that has also increased as well.
Officials say if you leave your gun in your car, put it inside a lockbox. If it does get stolen, you should let police know as soon as possible. Last year, one state representative introduced a bill to increase the penalty for leaving handguns in cars. The legislation didn't go anywhere, but he says he might introduce a similar bill depending on where the current bill focusing on permitless carry goes. It already comes with an increase on gun theft penalties. Movement on that bill is expected next week. If you're caught driving an ATV in Tennessee state forests, you could soon pay a hefty price for it. The Tennessee Department of Agriculture and Division of Forestry is now launching a $2,500 fine and up to a year in jail after seeing an uptick in damage at their state forests, particularly this one in Chattanooga. State leaders say off-road vehicles create dangerous conditions for hikers and horseback riders. President Biden says he wants us having barbecues this 4th of July, but his own health team warns don't send out those Independence Day invites just yet. What they say Americans need to do to make this summer dream a reality. You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your only local news source from 7 to 9. We'll be right back. And of course, you can join us weekday mornings starting at 4 a.m. 4:38 this morning, we are waking up to a beautiful view on Broadway. You can see it's going to be a great Friday, just a great view to really start your day and get ready for that weekend. Hey, and while we're speaking of the weekend, spring is almost here, but the Biden administration is already looking forward to summer, saying Americans might be able to gather in small groups. But don't go ahead and plan your 4th of July holiday just yet. President Biden and his team say we can't have our summer fun this summer if we don't follow guidelines this spring. He also says all adults should be eligible for a vaccine by the end of May, and Americans need to roll up those sleeves. Even still, some areas are easing restrictions. Maryland is opening restaurants and stores to full capacity starting today. Next week, Los Angeles will open gyms and movie theaters. Researchers at the University of Washington forecast almost 600,000 deaths by July if behavior stayed the same. Dr. Anthony Fauci says new cases are rolling in at some 60,000 per day.
That is unacceptably high. That is risky for triggering another surge.
We need everyone to get vaccinated. We need everyone to keep washing their hands, stay socially distanced, and keep wearing the mask.
And if we don't do that, well, you can put away your beach towels and expect new restrictions. The president and vice president are booked for the Rose Garden later today to talk about a new COVID-19 relief law. They're inviting members of Congress, though, according to a White House list, no Republicans will be there. Fox 17 News will keep you posted on what we learned today. You can look for our updates on air and online at fox17.com. One mid-state just became $1 million richer. Which county is home to the latest Tennessee Cash jackpot winner? Thanks for waking up with us every morning. We're your only local station with your traffic and weather updates live from 4 until 9. You can see the weather updates on the right side of your screen, even during commercial breaks. 4:43 on this Friday morning. Looking ahead to the weekend, daylight saving time begins Sunday at 2 a.m. This means you need to turn your clock 1 hour forward. Spring has been working for years to keep, Tennessee has been working for years to keep our daylight saving time permanently. This could soon become a reality. And if we take a live look at the U.S. Capitol, a bipartisan group of senators are now sponsoring a bill on the federal level called the Sunshine Protection Act. That bill would keep us from falling back or really changing the time.
Sunshine Protection Act. We got to save the sun, people. It needs our help.
Save the sun. It needs us. You know, Dan, this is something we were just talking about during break. We have spring forward. We have spring backward. Some states don't do it at all. I'm really not understanding the consistency. So maybe from your meteorologist perspective, you can help explain?
Yes, spring forward, fall back. I think they just use the seasons to know what to do with the clocks. Honestly, I would just love not to have to change the clock.
I agree, because now I'm going into this weekend, I lose an hour of sleep. That's all I'm thinking about. Monday's already ruined in my head because on Sunday, I'm losing that hour.
You're not alone. I know how you feel because like when I'm going to bed right now, it's like twilight. It's like perfect. And now it's just going to be like.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. I need blackout curtains.
Oh yeah, you are going to hate Monday.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
But it's
all
okay.
Right.
You won't be alone. We'll all have it collectively in common. We'll all be feeling it. But you know what? By Monday, we could also be looking at some cooler times as well. So get out, enjoy.
All right, Dan, just make sure to pack that umbrella in your car. Right now, we take a look at your steer clear traffic, a live look at I-40. This is traveling eastbound just west of Charlotte Avenue. You can see we are A-OK as we approach 5 o'clock this morning. Still early, so not a lot of people on the road, but we'll continue to monitor these conditions for you. Right now, one lucky Middle Tennessean is now a millionaire. Someone in DeKalb County hit Tennessee Cash jackpot on Wednesday worth $1.1 million. The winning ticket sold at Village Market along North Congress Boulevard in Smithville. This winner is now the 15th millionaire created by the game. And get excited because the Gaylord Opry Resort is now offering a spring break getaway for all ages. The resort's Spring It On event begins today with dozens of family-friendly activities, most of which are free. This includes live shows, art activities, scavenger hunts, and boat rides. The fun lasts through May 16th. We have a full list of activities on our website. Just head to fox17.com. Williamson County will soon have a new live music venue. Take a look at that. It'll be called First Bank Amphitheater, located in Thompson Station. The 1.5-acre plaza will be able to accommodate up to 7,500 people. Well, researchers are finding more side effects linked to COVID-19 vaccines. The latest reports from people who've gotten the shot. But first, a new move towards possibly impeaching Governor Andrew Cuomo in the midst of harassment allegations. Plans moving forward in New York. 4:53 this morning as we approach 5 o'clock on your Friday. We are taking a look at Broadway. You can see those lights shining bright. We could have some rain later today, so make sure to pack that umbrella. Fox 17's Code Red meteorologist Dan Guthrie will keep you updated with everything you need to know. Making national headlines this morning, one of New York State's most powerful Democrats is announcing a plan to move toward possibly impeaching Governor Andrew Cuomo. Ann McCloy, with our sister station in Albany, explains the scandal that led up to all of this.
The latest blow to Governor Andrew Cuomo comes from one of the most powerful leaders of the New York legislature. Speaker Carl Heastie released a statement late Thursday saying, "I am authorizing the Assembly Judiciary Committee to begin an impeachment investigation." Heastie said the committee will have the authority to interview witnesses, subpoena documents, and evaluate evidence. The move marks the first action by New York State Democrats toward a possible impeachment of the embattled governor. Earlier Thursday, a number of New York Democrats put out statements asking the governor to step aside. New York lawmaker John McDonald stated publicly Cuomo should allow Lieutenant Governor Kathy Hochul to step in and run the state, freeing up Cuomo to deal with the scandals, including a 6th allegation of sexual harassment.
If you were a public employee working in one of these buildings, you would be put on an administrative leave immediately.
The Albany Times-Union newspaper reported the 6th accuser is a Cuomo staffer who said Cuomo put his hand up her shirt and groped her at the governor's executive mansion while she was at work.
Mind you, this individual who has made this allegation still works in this building every single day. What about that person's rights?
McDonald was not on board with a move by Republicans to begin impeachment proceedings when we spoke to him Thursday afternoon ahead of Hastie's statement. New York State Assembly Minority Leader Republican Will Barclay believes impeachment is appropriate.
The question is, in the totality of the circumstances, can this governor continue to govern? And I don't think he can.
In the New York Capitol, I'm Ann McCloy.
The New York Attorney General says in a statement that the Assembly's investigation will not impact the investigation her office is overseeing. The only New York governor to be impeached in state history was William Sulzer back in 1913. As more of us get vaccinated against the coronavirus, early reports are showing side effects may be different based on if you've had the virus or are a long hauler, even if you're a man or a woman. For example, women tend to report more adverse side effects than the shot than men. According to the CDC and FDA, more than 13 million doses were administered from mid-December through mid-January. Of those, nearly 7,000 reported impacts like headaches and fatigue, 79% of which were women. Some studies also show women have higher antibody responses than men to certain vaccines like influenza. And for those who've had their COVID-19 shot, scientists are also looking into reports for long haulers or people with lingering symptoms. The vaccine may lessen some of these symptoms just 2 weeks out. They're also tracking people who report a worse reaction to the first dose of the vaccine when they've already had COVID-19. When you get the vaccine, you are given a way to report any side effects you may be experiencing. They could be different or unusual from what you're expecting. Studies with long haulers and those who've already had the virus are still ongoing with the new COVID-19 vaccines. Those would not have been in the initial test groups that participated in the vaccine trials. In consumer news, Kia is recalling nearly 380,000 vehicles right here in the United States. An electrical problem could cause an engine fire on certain Sportage SUVs. From 2017 to 2021, those models are all included in the recall. Also being recalled for the same issue are 2017 to 2019 model cadenzas. Apple still isn't ready to welcome back the conservative social media app Parler. Bloomberg reports the tech giant denied Parler's application to return to the App Store. Apple claims Parler's recent policy updates are not enough to satisfy its guidelines. Parler did relaunch through its website last month after being kicked off Amazon Web Services in January for allowing bogus posts to go unchallenged. An aircraft giant Boeing is reportedly ready to close a deal to sell dozens of 737 MAX jets to Southwest Airlines, its largest order since the aircraft safety ban was lifted. The sale would prop up Boeing's business, which has slumped 2 years after the deadly MAX crashes and after the pandemic crushed the demand for travel. Each MAX jet sells for roughly $100 million. New numbers show Americans are thinking about moving because of work and more flexible situations. A new survey by the company SimForm finds 66% of office workers are seriously considering moving to a new city. 62% of Americans are working from home, and they're even considering moving to a new country. The pandemic is also having another unexpected impact, and this one can be seen at the sink. The new poll by the company American Water finds 42% of Americans now consider themselves germaphobes. In fact, the average person now washes their hands 9 times per day. To check out the top trending stories each morning, you can head to fox17.com and go to the right-hand side of the homepage and find the top trending button. From there, you can just click it and we'll let you know what's happening. We have all of those stories for you throughout the day. And we want to thank you so much for making Fox 17 News Nashville's digital #1 source for online news and information. We're proud to keep you informed.
Special consideration for this program was provided by Ponce Law for their inclusion in this program.
Well, do you know someone who is a hometown hero in your community? If you do, Fox 17 News wants you to share their story. Ponce Law and Fox 17 are teaming up to find and award local hometown heroes $1,000. This could be a veteran, teacher, first responder, frontline worker, or anyone you know doing great things throughout the community. You can now nominate your hometown hero online at poncelaw.com/hometown hero. Each month, a selected hero will then be featured right here on Fox 17 News.